I'm gonna show you in 5 steps how I jumped onto a cupcake and turned myself into icing. Step 1, filming. I recorded myself swapping out the cupcakes. Then, as I ran backward, my partner moved the table out of the way so that my feet were visible. You'll see why this was important in step 3. Next, because I wanted the video to loop perfectly, I needed the first cupcake to be exactly the same as the second one. To do this, I replaced both cupcakes with the same image of a cupcake that I had gotten a separate shot of. That way the cupcake was exactly the same at the beginning as at the end. Step 3, rotoscoping. To jump onto the cupcake, I used the rotoscope tool in Adobe After Effects to cut out my body so that I could move myself on top of the cupcake. If my partner hadn't moved the table out of the way when we were filming, then my feet would have been cut off here. Next up, I added my shadow to the cupcake and cleaned up the focus change. For the shadow, I duplicated the cupcake and made it darker. Then I manually masked out the rough shape of my shadow and adjusted it to match my movements. For the focus change, I added blur to the background and faded it in as I jumped. And finally, step 5, turning myself into the icing. I got a shot of me dropping some icing, then I cut it out and put it over top of my jump. Then I used a few different tools in After Effects to blend me and the icing together. After that, I added motion blur, and then used the warp tool to make the icing wiggle a bit as it landed. And there we go, that's how I made this video. Piece of cake, right?